I'm about to walk you through the exact 4-step user interview framework that gets you actionable insights instead of just polite feedback. After 9 years of running user interviews, I've seen what works and what doesn't. And I'm going to show you each step with an example so you can see how it works in practice. Hi, I'm Kate. I've done hundreds of user interviews. Some led to clear product decisions, others didn't. The difference was always structure. If the conversation wasn't designed to surface real insights, it didn't. And this isn't just my experience. If you look at research on early stage startups, one thing comes up over and over again. Founders either don't talk to their users, or they do talk to them, but they might talk to the wrong people, or they lead the conversations completely without even realizing it. The result is the same. They end up building something no one really needs. This 4-step structure is how I fix this. And by the end of this video, you will know how to run your user interviews in a way that's going to help you move your product forward. To show you how this framework works in a real context, I've created a mock company called MedAtlas. It's a platform where patients can compare private healthcare clinics and see pricing, but they can't book appointments directly. Now the team is thinking about adding the booking feature, but before they do so, they need to figure out whether this makes sense for the users or not. This setup is great because it's a common situation. You've got a feature idea, but you need to know if it's worth building. So I will walk you through how to apply each of these 4 steps in this scenario. Let's start with step 1, a testable hypothesis.
But what exactly is a hypothesis? It's basically a prediction about what will happen and why. But not just any prediction. Testable hypothesis is specific. It means that you are able to measure and explain why you think something will happen. Instead of saying users want better booking, you would say
patients are more likely to convert if they can book directly on the platform rather than having to call the clinic or leave the website.
See the difference? The first one is just wishful thinking. The second gives you something concrete to test. But look at all the assumptions that we are making. That patients find calling clinics frustrating or time-consuming, that patients trust booking through a third-party platform, that clinics want more booking volume through this channel, and that enough patients would actually use direct booking to justify the development time. I created this example because this is exactly the type of assumptions I see people make all the time. And when you actually start testing your assumptions, some of them will turn out to be wrong.
The framework is simple. State your hypothesis, identify what you need to learn, and test before you build.
This works whether you are pre-MVP and trying to validate whether a problem exists, or if you're post-MVP and trying to build your X feature and want to know if it's going to work. The mindset is identical. Assume nothing and validate everything. Now that you have your hypothesis, the next question is who you should exactly be talking to.
Because not everyone's opinion carries the same weight.
This brings us to step number 2, the participants. The first thing you need to figure out is who your target groups are. Here's something very important. Sometimes the buyers of your product and the users aren't the same people, and so you need to validate with both of them. If you only talk to the people who pay for your product, but miss talking to the people who are using it, you're missing half of the story. So for MedAtlas, we actually have 2 different target groups. So we need to talk to both of these groups because they have very different perspectives and needs. But here is the key.
Even within your target group, not all feedback is equally valuable.
You want to find what we call high expectation customers, or HXC. They are the one who will give you incredible insights because they can articulate their problems and needs very, very well. And they're also going to set the standard very high. These are your sharpest critics and your best early adapters. Think about it this way. Would you rather talk to someone who is going to tell you, yes, the booking is fine, or to someone who is going to tell you exactly what they went through last time when they tried to book? What were their frustrations, what were their needs, and why it mattered to them? Now, everyone asks, how many people do I need to talk to? The answer is, unfortunately, isn't a magic number. It will depend on when you're going to reach saturation. That's the point where additional interviews will not give you any more new insights. So what I suggest to start with 5 to 6 people per target group, then stop and analyze what you learned. If you're hearing the same things repeatedly, so people talk about the same problems that they have, then you probably reach saturation. If you're still discovering new things after each interview, then you should keep going. Let data guide how many you need. Now, finding these high expectation customers, especially if you don't have a user base, so you're pre-MVP, is its own challenge.
I actually made an entire video breaking down exactly how to find your first-time users to interview. I will link it in the description and at the end of the video.
But for now, here's the key insight. Hunt for people who share specific stories, they cite their frustrations, or they already try to fix the problem. These are your gold mine for actionable insight. Expectation customers are the one posting things like, here is what's broken and this is how it hurts my business, rather than just general complaints. Alright, so you know what you're testing and you know who to talk to. The next challenge is reaching out to these people without sounding like you're trying to sell something for them. And this brings us to step number 3, the outreach. Effective outreach is about making your ask feel natural and mutually beneficial.
Never like a cold pitch.
The goal is to position yourself as a researcher, not a salesperson. People can smell a sales pitch from miles away. Even if you genuinely just want to learn from them, if your message sounds like every single cold outreach email that they get, they're going to ignore it. Think about it from their perspective. You're asking for their expertise and time. What's in it for them? And how can you make it clear that this isn't about selling them something? For Meditness, here is how I would approach reaching out to both of these groups. For clinic owners and managers, since these are existing partners, I would just send them a warm email.
Subject, can I get your input on something we are exploring?
And for the message, it would be something like, hi Jennifer, hope you're doing well. As one of our valued partners, your thoughts are really important to us as we explore ways to make Meditness even more valuable for clinics like yours. Would you have 30 minutes this week for a quick call? This isn't a sales conversation, just want to understand your current booking process better. Happy to send $80 or account credit as a thank you for your time. And for our user base, subject line, help us improve your booking experience. And the message, hi Sarah, you recently found the clinic through Meditness, and we would love to hear about your experience. Would you be open to a 30 minutes call about how you typically book healthcare appointments? We will send a $30 gift card as thanks for sharing your insight. Notice how both of these messages focus on their expertise and experience. They are also clear about compensation and time commitment. In terms of compensation, here is what works for different situations. For B2B outreach, offer professional value. This could be charity donations in the company's name, account credit, or cash, around $70 to $160 per hour. For B2C outreach, keep it simple. Could be gift cards, early access to some features, or small cash payments work well, $40 to $80 per hour. And platform-wise, email works best for existing users.
For cold outreach, LinkedIn for B2B, and community forums or social media for B2C.
But remember, lead with curiosity about their world and not excitement about your solution. Now that you've sent your outreach messages and people are saying yes to your calls, now what?
This brings us to step 4, the interviews. So you are on a call with someone who's agreed to share their experience.
You have 30 minutes to understand how they currently solve the problem you're trying to address. This is your chance to get real insights that could save you months of building the wrong thing. Here is something interesting about human psychology. People actually want to be helpful. They will tell you exactly what you want to hear, especially if you leave them there.
Your job isn't to get validation for your idea. It's to understand their reality so you can make informed decisions about what to build.
And what not to build. Have you ever been in a conversation when somebody was just kept nodding and agreeing with you, but inside you actually know that they are just trying to be polite? That's exactly what we want to avoid. We want these people to be very, very honest with us. And remember what I mentioned in the outreach step. It's not a sales call. Stay curious, not promotional.
Here are the 5 principles that work whether you are pre or post MVP.
I will play short clips from an actual interview I conducted so you can see what it looks like.
First one, start with their real world, not your solution.
Begin every interview with their current process and pain points. If you're pre-MVP, don't mention your idea at all. If you're post MVP and you're trying to introduce a new feature and you might have a prototype to show them, then always start with their world first and their frustrations and pain points, and then show them the prototype later.
Can you walk me through the last time you had to book a doctor's appointment?
Sure. That was recently. I tried to book a GP appointment. Yeah, I called around to try to find somebody who's still accepting patients. And the last one, I tried to call like 5 times and nobody picked up the phone, no matter how long I waited. So yeah, I had to go in person to actually ask if they accept new patients and make an appointment.
This is crucial because it uncovers real pain points and not the ones you think they should have.
Principle 2 is ask about past behavior, not hypotheticals.
People are terrible at predicting their future, but when you ask them to talk about their past, that's going to give you gold. Principle 3 is facilitate discovery, don't lead the witness. When testing a prototype or a real product, always give users real tasks and then observe how they naturally approach them. Don't point out features or steer them towards specific solutions. Here you will see how I gave Peter a realistic scenario and then let him just discover on his own without me guiding him through it.
Your task is that imagine that you want to book now a dermatologist appointment. How would you use this application to do so?
Well, it seems to me dermatologist is already selected, so let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, so she has 5 stars. Let's start with that. Book online. Okay, maybe the first available appointment. Continue. 10:50 is fine. That is for myself. No, I am a new patient. Yep, continue.
This is where product teams often fail. They are so invested in their solution that they unconsciously guide users toward it. But the whole point of testing is to see if your solution is intuitive enough without help.
Principle 4, probe emotional reactions and motivations.
Pay attention to emotional cues like frustration, confusion, excitement, and dig deeper when you notice them. Notice how I pick up on Peter's tone and ask him more follow-up questions.
So, what type of appointment do you need? Let's say general skin concern.
I can hear you hesitated there. What's the reason?
The list was quite limited. It was a bit surprising. I was thinking about the appointment regarding allergies, and it was not the selection, so I just went for general skin concern. Let's see.
All right, I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Emotions reveal your strongest value props and your biggest deal breakers. Principle 5, end with respect and clear next steps.
Always express genuine gratitude, provide promised compensation immediately, and tell them what happens next.
A respectful close can turn participants into future customers, collaborators,
or advocates, crucial for both early-stage learning and ongoing product development. Once the interviews are done, the key is to step back and look for patterns instead of individual quotes. The goal isn't just to collect stories, it's to spot the big themes that can guide what experiment you can run next. Example, if trust concerns with online booking is a big theme, then as a next experiment, we might want to consider adding different trust signals like badges or clinic verification. Keep experiments small and focused.
You are learning, not building the full solution yet. What I mean by small is this. Remember the scripts with Peter? He was interacting with a prototype that I made in Figma. It was not actual code. I did this so I can observe him how he would interact with the feature if we were to build it. Now I know creating a prototype might sound daunting if you're not a designer and you don't know how to create these things. Some tools like Figma are a little bit more complex than others, but for example, there are tools like Balsamic or Canva that makes it much simpler actually. Or if you want to build a landing page, you could use a tool called Framer. But this is the kind of experiments that you want to run. You don't want to spend months on building something or even weeks on building something before you can actually prove that it's worth spending the time on it. The point is to test your assumptions before you invest time and money into something. You can learn whether people understand your interface without writing a single line of code.
So there you have it, the complete 4-step process that can save you months of building the wrong thing.
Pick just one assumption about your users that you can test this week. Run just one interview with these principles. Drop your results in the comments. I would love to hear how it goes. If you are thinking, this is great, but I have 0 users to interview, check out this video where I break down exactly how to find your high expectations customers, even when you start from scratch. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.